The story is about a man who grew up believing something very wrong, that men are naturally stronger and better than women, and that women are weak, helpless, and cannot manage their own lives. In his mind, women always depend on men for everything. Because of this, he thinks women are just there for men to use, and once they are done, they can be discarded. This proud and arrogant man is the hero of our story, but one day something unbelievable happens. The whole world turns upside down. In this new world, everything men do now is done by women, and everything women do now is done by men. So men and women have completely switched roles. Now the question is, what will our hero do when he finds himself in this new world? What will he learn? All this is shown in a story full of comedy, fantasy, and fun. At the beginning of the movie, we see a school annual day function. There is a drama being performed, but the role of a girl is empty because she didn't come. The teacher asks the boys if anyone can take the role, and here comes our hero, Damien. To impress a girl sitting next to him, Damien raises his hand and says, "I'll do it." But when he comes on stage dressed in a girl's costume, everyone bursts out laughing. Damien feels deeply embarrassed and humiliated. Friends, imagine trying to impress someone and ending up looking like a joke in front of everyone. From this moment, Damien begins to develop a bitter attitude toward girls. He starts hating them and grows up believing that women are nothing more than things to be used and discarded. It's not that Damien doesn't interact with women. He does. In fact, he becomes a top playboy. But he still sees women as inferior to men. Because of this, he doesn't believe in love and has no interest in marriage. He even tells his therapist about his views. She tries to help him see things differently through counseling, but Damien remains stuck in his thinking. Damien also works at an app development company. One day, he is showing a demo of a dating app he designed, but his app reflects his personal beliefs. It shows men as strong, smart, and capable, while women are dependent on men and not as intelligent or powerful. One of his colleagues tells him, "Your app design is good, but your thinking is terrible." Damien replies, "This is not my opinion, it's the truth. Women are less than men, and the world works that way." Hearing this, another man in the room laughs, while Damien's colleague feels frustrated and upset, wondering why some men have no sense or understanding. But Damien doesn't care at all. He is not bothered that his words have hurt others. According to him, women exist only to entertain men. Their happiness, struggles, and pain mean nothing to him. After work, Damien goes to a bookstore to meet his friend, who is an author. Of course, Damien cannot stay quiet. He starts flirting with every woman he sees. Then a woman comes up and asks him, "What do you want?" Damien starts flirting with her too, but she ignores him and asks again, "What do you want?" Friends, pay attention. This woman is Alexandra, the heroine of our story. Damien says he wants to meet the store owner. Alexandra replies, "Tell me, I'll call him." Damien's friend appears and says, "Can't you control yourself for even a little while? I don't know what happens to you when you see a girl. Stop it and leave Damien." Then points to Alexandra and asks, "Who is she? Is she a new staff member?" His friend warns him, "You won't get along with her. She's not your type." Meanwhile, Damien's friend's wife, who is pregnant, gets upset because today is her birthday and he had forgotten. She leaves angrily. To make it up to her, Damien and his friend go to buy a bouquet. But before leaving, Damien tries one last time to talk to Alexandra. She looks him in the eyes and says, "I'm thinking about my boss. Otherwise, I would have scolded you and kicked you out." Later, Damien is teasing girls on the street as usual, but he accidentally collides with a pillar and falls. His friend immediately calls an ambulance. When Damien regains consciousness, he sees a woman trying to help him, and his friend looks different, wearing different clothes. The woman asks, "What happened to him?" His friend explains, "We were walking quietly when two girls started teasing us, so we ran. He collided with the pillar and fell." Damien laughs, thinking his friend is joking to impress the woman. Then both of them go home. Damien's friend kisses him on the cheek before entering his house. Damien is shocked. Why is he suddenly acting like a woman? The next morning, Damien gets ready for work but finds that there are no men's clothes in his wardrobe. Only skirts, shorts, and women's clothes are there. He is shocked and thinks maybe the woman who cleans the house has put her clothes in his closet. Still, he puts on a t-shirt and pants to leave. On the back of the pants, the word "hot" is written. On his way to the office, a woman teases him. At first, Damien enjoys it. He is used to teasing women himself, but now being teased by a woman confuses him. He thinks, maybe she likes me and is trying to flirt with me. Thinking all this, Damien reaches his office. There, the receptionist, a boy, scolds him, "Why didn't you wear a scarf? Everything is visible. You should have some shame." Damien replies, "Why should I be ashamed? Am I a woman?" and walks inside. Inside the office, things are completely upside down. Men are wearing skirts, shorts, and high heels, swaying as they walk. Most of the office, which usually had mostly men, is now full of women. Even Damien's colleague, the one who had criticized his dating app, and his former boss are now in reversed roles. His colleague is sitting in the boss's chair, while his former boss is serving coffee like an office assistant. Confused, Damien asks, "What's going on? Are you playing a prank?" The boss then gives him a new app project, the opposite of the dating app he had created. This one is designed to show men as weak and needing protection from women. Damien gets angry and says, "What is this? You've ruined my project. I won't do this." The boss calmly says, "It's okay. We don't need you. Go away." Damien storms out in frustration. He goes to a bar to drink. There, the bartender is a woman, and two men quietly ask for their orders. She replies loudly and harshly. Damien is shocked. He thinks, "I've entered some other world. Women act like men, and men act like women. How is this possible?" Scared, he runs out. On the way, he notices that in every shop, women are doing all the heavy work while men avoid hard labor. Women seem dominant, and men appear insecure. Terrified, Damien rushes to his therapist to see if he has gone mad. He explains, "I think I'm in a parallel universe. Women are ruling everywhere, and men cannot even speak." The therapist, proud of being a woman, tells him, "There's nothing I can do for you. A man can never match a woman. Leave this place." Desperate, Damien thinks maybe hitting the pillar again will fix things. He hits it, but nothing changes. Hoping for a solution, he calls an old girlfriend and invites her to a bar. There, a man is performing a strip dance, adding to Damien's confusion. He laughs, thinking this must be some universal prank. Damien drinks a lot and tries to get close to his girlfriend. But before he can, she jumps on him. Seeing the hair on his chest, she angrily spits on him and says, "Can't you shave?" In this world, women only like men who are completely hairless, except on their head. Fully waxed men are preferred. Furious, she leaves Damien, adding to his frustration. Damien is completely confused by now. He goes to his friend's house to find some clarity. The same friend, the author, is busy doing household chores. Meanwhile, his wife and daughter are sitting on the sofa, happily watching a football match. Interestingly, in this world, most football players are women. Even his son goes to ballet class, wearing shorts and t-shirts made for girls. Suddenly, Damien's friend's wife feels labor pains. But in this world, women are so strong that they barely feel pain. Calmly, she announces, "Looks like the baby will come today." She walks to the hospital on her own, without any help. And friends, the delivery doesn't happen on a bed. Instead, she hangs from a bar and gives birth as if she's doing a normal workout. There's no screaming, no shouting. Meanwhile, her husband gets very emotional and starts crying. Surprisingly, right after the birth, the woman is completely fine. She changes her clothes, sits on the bed, and starts reading calmly. In this world, after a child is born, men take full responsibility for raising the child. Fathers are given long paternity leaves, just like maternity leave for mothers. Damien's friend immediately calls his boss, Alexandra, and says, "I'm taking a one-year paternity leave." His wife asks, "Who are you talking to?" He replies, "I'm talking to Alexandra, my boss." Friends, remember Alexandra? In the first world, she was Damien's colleague's staff. But in this world, she is a very famous author, and Damien's friend is her employee. Damien asks his friend to recommend him for the vacant position, and his friend agrees. He speaks to Alexandra on Damien's behalf. Alexandra says, "Okay, but a man must be responsible to get this job." In the next scene, Alexandra is shown living a luxurious life. She is a famous writer with many boyfriends and a busy social calendar filled with parties and publisher events. Now Damien has to completely change himself to meet her expectations. He gets a haircut, waxes his body, and dresses in women's shorts. Damien is furious inside, but he has no choice. He finally reaches Alexandra's office. Alexandra is taking a moment of fresh air, casually opening a few buttons of her shirt. Looking at Damien, she says, "Wow, you're quite sexy, but you're too tall." Friends, in this world, women prefer shorter men. Alexandra's pet isn't a cat or dog. It's a chameleon that she feeds with live insects. Damien is shocked. He thinks, "I thought girls only feared cockroaches, but she has a chameleon." Alexandra warns him, "You can take care of your friend's work, but never touch my desk. Otherwise, it will be very bad." Her office is full of heavy weights for men to work out, magazines showcasing men as glamorous and beautiful. In this world, men are admired for their beauty and gentleness, while women are recognized for their strength and intelligence. Seeing all this, Damien gets angry. He has always believed that men are superior, but here, everything is reversed. Just as men in his world think women can be impressed with expensive cars, in this world, women show off their wealth, arriving in luxury cars and bikes, to impress men and ask them out. After work, Alexandra follows Damien outside. She says, "How are you, beautiful? Are you going home alone? Don't go by yourself. If some scoundrel bothers you, you won't be able to show your face. Come, I'll drop you home home in my car, Damien cannot tolerate it any longer. He shouts in anger. Do you know which world I come from? Men rule there. Men are stronger than women and always will be. I don't need your protection. I know the way to my house. Alexandra is confused. She thinks, why is he so arrogant? Men should never have this much pride. And with that thought, she walks away, leaving Damien fuming. Friends, this is Alexandra. What a playgirl she is. Every day she has fun with different boyfriends, then sends them away after giving them some money. After that, she sits alone and drinks. But there's one problem. She keeps thinking about Damien. Until now, no man has ever shown such arrogance or hurt her ego. Damien is different from the other men here, and the way he talks is unusual too. Because of this, Alexandra wants to get close to Damien. She even decides to write a book about him, titled I Am Not an Easy Man. In this world, just as there's a women's rights organization, there is also a men's rights organization. Damien and his friend go there to fight for equality, demanding that men should have the same rights as women. They ask, are we less than women just because we don't have breasts? Are we below them? At the meeting, other men give speeches about how they can fight for equality. Then Damien's parents come to see him. They say, son, how long will you keep sitting at home? We want to give you away to a woman. Only then will we feel at peace and show our faces to God. They tell him it's difficult for a man to live alone in this world and insist he should get married. They promise to find a good girl for him. Damien gets angry and storms off to a bar. At the bar, Alexandra is drinking. She calmly asks Damien, why are you so angry? What's wrong? Damien is relieved that she hasn't fired him from his job. Both of them drink and start talking. Damien begins telling her about his male-dominated world, where women are considered inferior to men. Alexandra wants to write a book about it to make money, so she secretly hides a mic in her shirt collar and a recorder. She asks, will you tell me about your world? Drunk, Damien starts explaining everything. You won't believe this, Alexandra. While walking, I hit a pillar and fainted. When I woke up, I was in this upside-down world, where women dominate and men are their puppets. Here, the way women rule, men rule in my world. He tells her many other stories about his experiences. Later, Damien drunkenly tries to kiss her. Alexandra stops him and says, wait, I never take advantage of a man who is not in his senses. Go home. Tomorrow when you're sober, we can talk. She then books a taxi for him. The driver is a woman. Alexandra asks Damien for his home address and tells him, call me as soon as you reach safely. She's worried the driver might do something wrong, and meanwhile, she's secretly recording all of this with her hidden mic. The next day, Alexandra is sitting with one of her publishing agents to discuss publishing Damien's story. She plays the recordings of all her conversations with Damien, and both of them laugh a lot. In her world, Damien's stories sound funny and interesting, just like the stories he used to write in his own world. The agent says, the concept is good, but I'm not sure if people will accept such a different idea. They decide that Alexandra needs to get closer to Damien to gather more details for the book and make it richer and more complete. Meanwhile, Damien's friend is very upset with him. He says, Damien, you shouldn't have behaved like that with Alexandra. I got you this job in my place, and now what will she think when I return to work after a year? She might even fire me because I sent a man like you here. Damien cannot accept this. In his mind, women should be afraid of men, not the other way around. He shouts at his friend, what happened to you? Have you forgotten how things used to be? We used to rule and women were afraid of us. They used to dress to impress us, try to get our love. They were our slaves. And look at you. You're scared. You do all the household chores, take care of the children, and have no life outside. Even after work, you keep running your home like a machine. And Alexandra is just one woman, yet you are terrified of her? Damien's friend tries to explain, what should I do, Damien? In this world, men have no respect. We exist only for women to use. If we live without them, how can we survive? For me, my family is everything. My children are my world. I am willing to sacrifice my entire life for them. Friends, this shows the upside-down nature of this female-dominated world. Just like patriarchy in our world has restricted women, forcing them to live within limits of being mothers, daughters, sisters, and showing them as symbols of purity and sacrifice. In this world, men face the same kind of limitations. They are confined, controlled, and their lives revolve around others. Damien, as usual, gets irritated hearing all this. Frustrated, he leaves in anger, unable to tolerate the situation. In the next scene, Alexandra takes Damien to a party and introduces him to her publisher. The publisher looks at Damien and asks, Alexandra told me that you are against women. Why is that? Why do you hate women so much? Friends, since coming to this upside-down world, Damien has slowly started to realize the truth. From his everyday experiences, he sees how wrong his thoughts were and how badly his actions affect respected women in his own world. He says to himself, now I understand how difficult life must have been for women because of men like me, how trapped and suffocated they must have felt because of the way I, and most men, thought and acted. Damien may not fully know how to express it, but the publisher immediately recognizes the value of his story. He thinks, if Damien's experiences are turned into a book, it could easily become a bestseller here. The concept is unique and very interesting. After the party, Damien talks to Alexandra. He says, listen, in my world, women are valued mostly for their beauty, their dresses, jewelry, makeup, and hairstyles. That's what men think makes them special. But after coming here, I see that my thinking was completely wrong. Men in this world are treated like objects, and only beauty is considered their identity. Seeing all this, I realize how wrongly I have been living my life. Now I understand the pain women face, and I also understand that men and women are truly equal in every way. Alexandra smiles and says, it seems you've had too much to drink. Are you going back to that imaginary world of yours again? In her world, she calls Damien's experiences the imaginary world, because he keeps talking about it often. Then she adds, if you want, I can take you there. She takes Damien to a special place called the Reverse Pub. Here the rules are completely flipped. Women wear skirts and shorts, and men are treated like objects of admiration. Damien feels a sense of relief being in this world. It's easier for him to observe and understand things from the female perspective. Alexandra then teases him, this is the guest pub. Do you like guests? Damien, feeling bold and free, laughs and says, no, before leaning in and kissing Alexandra. The moment turns intimate, and both of them share a close, romantic connection. The next morning, Damien looks tired, but Alexandra wakes up quickly and gets ready for the day. Damien looks at her and says honestly, I like you. I want to tell you the truth, Alexandra responds firmly. Please don't try to trap me in any relationship. I am not a good woman. Damien laughs a little and says, oh God, where did I get trapped? Listen, I'm not innocent either. I'm also not a good man. If you had come to my world, you'd know what kind of characterless person I am. I'm a #1 playboy, and I think you also like me. Alexandra ignores him for now and says, we won't talk about this. We will meet in the office tomorrow, and leaves. The next day, Damien goes to pick up his friend's son from dance class. The boy's feet hurt a lot from dancing. Damien feels bad and thinks, if girls have to go through this much pain while learning dance, how hard it must be for them. Then the boy starts crying bitterly because he was betrayed by his girlfriend. Damien comforts him, saying, it's normal. Breakups happen all the time. Watching this, Damien suddenly realizes how many girls he has hurt in his own world in the name of love. He understands the pain they must have suffered because of him. When Damien goes to the office, he doesn't realize that Alexandra is hiding something from him. In fact, she is secretly writing a book based on everything Damien has said. It is unclear whether she has started developing feelings for him, but in public, they behave like a couple. They kiss and act affectionately. Alexandra later takes Damien to a store to gift him a watch. Damien notices it's a lady's watch and says, this is for women. Men's watches are big, with strong straps. Alexandra laughs and replies, if you wear a manly watch here, girls will reject you. Damien is confused. In my world, women like only strong men, he says. Alexandra finds his ideas very strange. Meanwhile, Damien's friend confides in him about his wife's affair. He says, my whole world is ruined. I am staying with her only for the sake of my children. I don't have the courage to fight her. I have to bear this my whole life to protect my family and kids. Damien consoles him, saying, brother, this is life. You have to manage. Later, Alexandra goes out carrying a microphone and recorder. Damien asks, where are you going? She replies, I'm working on a very important book. I can't tell anyone about it now. I'm in a hurry, Damien says. I also need to go out. I'm trying to get a part-time job as a bartender today. Alexandra is shocked and angry. Why do you need a job? I earn enough. I will take care of you and give you money for shopping. Why do you insist on working? Damien replies, will I live on your salary? Never. Now Alexandra gets serious. She scolds him. Are you crazy? You're a man. Stay at home like a man. Other men quietly eat what their women give them and take care of the house and children. But you always want to prove yourself everywhere. This world is cruel. If something happens to you at the bar, my respect will also be ruined. Just stay home, do the household work, and listen to me quietly. After giving him this long lecture, Alexandra leaves, still firm in her belief that Damien should follow the rules of this upside-down world. Now Damien feels two things at once. He is both angry and amused. He laughs and says to himself, yes, I agree. Men did all this to women too, but I never thought that one day everything would completely turn upside down. Now it's the opposite. Friends, if you're laughing too, think about it. This huge scam in our world, where men dominated women, has suddenly been reversed. And yet it feels so normal now. You understand what I'm saying, right? After Alexandra leaves, suddenly a boy enters Damien's house. He sprays something on the wall. Damien asks, who are you? What are you writing? The boy replies, I'm one of Alexandra's boyfriends. She promised me love, but after using using me. She threw me away like a disposable item. I want justice, Damien asks. So you're her current boyfriend? You will also be thrown out like this? The boy says sadly, no, it's not just me. She has treated over 100 men like this. He starts crying bitterly. When Alexandra arrives, Damien directly asks her about it. She admits, yes, it's true, but what's the harm in it? In society, men are made to be used by high-class women like me, but don't worry, Damien. I love only you. Don't believe anyone who says otherwise out of jealousy. Hearing this, Damien realizes how many times he himself repeated the same pattern with women in his world, using them and then discarding them, hurting them like a whip. He becomes furious and decides he will never let Alexandra do the same to him. He leaves in anger. Meanwhile, Alexandra feels bad for Damien, but she takes the script she wrote based on his story to her publisher. Reading the first page, she starts laughing. It's full of comedy and very interesting. She thinks, if this gets published, it will definitely be a hit. It's perfect for a comeback, especially since none of my books have been published for 3 years. But Alexandra hesitates. She has been pretending to be in love with Damien to gather his story for the book. If he finds out that she used him this way, how hurt would he feel? She worries and isn't sure whether to publish the book. At this moment, Alexandra realizes something important. She has genuinely started to love Damien. She tells the publisher, yes, okay, I will think about it and let you know. For now, we won't publish the book. That night, Alexandra is at a party with her friends, enjoying herself. But she keeps thinking about how she betrayed Damien and feels very angry with herself. She calls her publisher and says, I will not publish that book. After that, she ends the call and drops the project. Meanwhile, Damien is at home, feeling sad and thinking about Alexandra. Suddenly, his friend's wife comes over. She explains, my husband found out about my affair and we had a big fight. That's why I left home and came here. They both sit and drink together. Damien shares his incomplete love story with her, and in return, she confesses about her affair. She tells him how she met her husband, how they fell in love, and how they got married. Damien consoles her, and in turn, she gives him courage. The next day, Damien talks to Alexandra on the phone. It seems their rift is over. She calls him and says, I want to meet you immediately, and even comes to pick him up in her car. Damien insists, today I will drive, and takes the driver's seat. They check into a hotel for 3 to 4 days. During this time, they roam around, enjoy themselves, and openly express their love for each other. One day, the car tire gets punctured. Alexandra asks Damien to stay in the car while she gets out and changes it herself. Later, Damien sees a wedding at a church where the bride wears a skirt and the groom wears a coat. He enjoys seeing this different and unusual way of life. Inspired, Damien proposes to Alexandra right there. Alexandra doesn't respond immediately. Damien, feeling insecure, says, I know you don't truly love me. Like the other men in your life, after using me, you will throw me away, right? He gets out of the car and starts to leave. Alexandra stops him and says, it's not like that. I really love you, and I will definitely marry you. Meanwhile, the men's rights group protests, demanding equal status for men. The women react angrily, saying, what's their problem? Men's job is to stay at home, take care of the household, and look after children. If they want equality, they should understand how hard it is to work outside and earn money. They are just trying to ruin the respect of the house. The publisher, however, supports the men and says, I am with you. I support men's rights. Damien's friend then tells her, did you know Damien is going to become a groom soon? She is shocked and asks, I didn't even know who he is marrying. The friend explains, Alexandra promised to marry Damien. They are going to get married soon, but she is shocked again. Alexandra is already married and has a teenage daughter. Didn't she tell you? Her husband refuses to give her a divorce. Damien is completely confused. It feels like the ground has slipped from under him. He rushes to Alexandra's home office, but she isn't there. He sees Alexandra's marriage certificate. His eyes darken with anger, and in a fit of rage, he destroys the room and leaves. Meanwhile, Alexandra goes to meet her husband and demands that he sign the divorce papers. She warns him, if you delay any longer, no one will be worse than me. I have chosen a new life partner, so hurry up. She returns home with her daughter. Seeing the messy house, her daughter scolds her, Mother, you still haven't changed. How many more men's lives will you ruin? Surely one of them must have come and caused this mess. Angry, the daughter goes back to her father. At the same time, Damien is at a bar drinking when some girls start teasing him and trying to harass him. Someone calls Damien's friend, who immediately rushes to help. His wife insists on coming too, saying Damien cannot handle those girls alone. On the way, they meet Alexandra, and together the three rush to save Damien. Damien fights off the main attacker himself, while his friend's wife handles the rest. Alexandra asks, are you okay? I'm glad I arrived in time. Who knows what these beasts would have done to you? Damien, angry, confronts Alexandra. "You hid so much from me. Even that you have a daughter. Why?" Alexandra admits her mistakes. "I am trying to divorce my husband, but he refuses. I didn't tell you about my daughter because I was helpless. Sorry for that. And yes, I initially got close to you for my own benefit, but gradually I realized my life is incomplete without you. If I'm honest, I have started loving you." Damien is shocked and asks, "What benefit are you talking about?" Alexandra explains, "Your story about the male-dominated world was fascinating. I recorded your talks and wanted to publish them as a book. That's why I got close to you. But because I genuinely love you, I abandoned the idea of publishing it." Hearing this, Damien becomes furious. He doesn't want to listen to her, and in anger, slaps her hard. Alexandra falls completely, then rises and angrily hits Damien on the head with her own head. Both of them faint from the impact. After some time, Alexandra regains consciousness. She finds herself lying on a bed inside an ambulance. She says, "I'm fine," and gets down. To her surprise, she has arrived in Damien's world, the male-dominated world of the present time. Everything feels strange to her. The dresses that men wore in Alexandra's world are now worn by women here. Men are busy protecting women, which Alexandra finds very confusing, because in her world, it was men who needed protection, not women. Here, women have beauty products, stylish clothes, and all the things that make them appear more attractive. Just as beauty was the identity of men in her world, here it is the identity of women. Alexandra is completely stunned. She wonders, is this real? Am I dreaming? Is there really a male-dominated world as Damien described? And now, am I trapped here? She sits on a bench in front of a shop, trying to process everything. At that moment, she sees women protesting for their rights, demanding equality. This shocks her even more because in her world, it was men who had to fight for their rights. Across the street, Damien calls out to her. He has returned to his own world after learning his lesson about respecting women. Alexandra, however, is still learning her lesson, that just as it is wrong for men to dominate women, it is equally wrong for women to dominate men. Friends, the point is clear. Men and women are equal, and both deserve respect. Perhaps Alexandra was brought to this world so she could understand this important lesson. Damien calls her repeatedly, and finally Alexandra sees him. Their eyes meet, and the story ends with this powerful scene, leaving the lesson clear for all. Now friends, what do you think about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share if you enjoyed it, because I really love this story and its message.